All right, 4.7. We're going to find the integral of inverse trig functions. The integral of inverse trig functions. We're going to spend 2-3 days on this. All right, so the first one. Let's review the derivatives. Do you remember the derivative of inverse sine of u? 1 minus u squared. Yes. Times du dx. Yes. Because we're taking the derivative with respect to x, and we're going to assume that u is in terms of x. So there's some x inside u. So you have to do a chain rule. Okay, so this is the first one. Just recall what it is. It's in that form. Cosine, we didn't memorize it at all. I'm just going to give you the answer. Negative 1 over 1 minus u squared, and then du dx. Always remember there is a chain rule. Yes?
Do we need to know the cosine one or the sine?
We don't. But I need to give it to you because, later on, if you do go on to higher calculus, then you're expected to know these. So I'm going to give it to you, all of it. But all you need to remember is inverse sine and inverse tangent. Okay, inverse tangent. Do you remember what inverse tangent is? 1 over 1 plus u squared. Good. And then du dx. Okay, so definitely inverse sine and inverse tangent. All right, the other three, the reciprocal functions. Okay, inverse cosecant is negative 1 over absolute value u square root u squared minus 1 times du dx. Inverse secant, 1 over absolute value u square root of u squared minus 1 du dx. And then the last one, cotangent, inverse cotangent. Negative 1 over 1 plus u squared du dx. Okay, the reason we're looking at all the derivatives is now we're going to integrate. So we got to memorize the forms of how these inverse trig functions derivatives look like, so we can recognize the form and go back by integrating and go to them. Okay, so let's try one, a rather easy one first. Let's try this one first. Integral of dx over 9 plus x squared. All right, so this is where you look at this and then you say, can I use u sub? So do a really quick u sub in your head. What would you make as u if you were to use it? 9 plus x squared. If you do du, you get 2x. Yeah, there's no way to get rid of that x in the 2x, right? So then that's why u sub is not going to work. So you're going to have to recognize this form. So another way to write this is 1 over 9 plus x squared dx, right? So what does this look like? Which one? Inverse sine or inverse tangent? Inverse tangent, right? Inverse tangent. However, it's not a direct substitution into inverse tangent. So we need to change it. In inverse tangent, remember, it's 1 over 1 plus u squared, right? This part is a 1. Right now, it's a 9, not a 1. So somehow we need to get it to a 1 and not a 9. Okay, so algebra. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to factor out the 9. Okay, factor out the 9 is another way of saying divide every term by 9. Okay, if you didn't remember. Okay, so that becomes 1 plus x squared over 9. Are you guys still following? Yeah. Okay, next. Remember that the inverse tangent form is 1 over 1 plus u squared. Not a x squared over 9. So we need to change that x squared over 9 into a u squared. So what squared will give me x squared over 9? X over 3, yes. So I'm going to change this again. 1 plus x over 3 squared dx. Okay, now it pretty much looks like the inverse tangent form. Again, I don't like that 9 being there. It's kind of distracting me, so I'm going to take it out of the integral. Okay, at this time, I'm going to use u sub. Okay, so the u sub I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get it into the inverse tangent form. So which part would you make u? X over 3. X over 3. And then du would be what? 1/3 dx. Okay, so again, we just want the dx part, not the 1/3 part. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay, now I'm going to do a substitution. So 1/9 stays. 1 over. X over 3 is u, so this is 1 over u squared. Du. And then I have a 3 I need to put in the front. So I'm going to put that 3 here. Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay, those of you who are just kind of copying everything down, please try to think about it while you're copying it down. That way, if you have any questions, you can ask me right away. All right, so that part is just going to cancel, so 1/3. All right, so what is the integral of 1 over 1 plus u squared?
Inverse tangent.
Inverse tangent. Okay, so this becomes 1/3 inverse tangent u plus c. All right, and then we just want to plug that back in. So 1/3 inverse tangent x over 3 plus c. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so just to review a little bit, when you see a question like this where you're like, I try to do a u sub, I cannot make that happen, but I do notice that it kind of looks like a inverse trig form. You're going to force it into an inverse trig form by manipulating them to be pretty much the form, and then do a u sub. Kind of okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's try another one. This one. What form does this one look like?
Sine.
Sine, yeah, inverse sine. But inverse sine, if you recall, is 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared. So again, that is a 1, not a 4. So what should we do? Take out a 4. Okay, so we're going to factor out 4. That means we're going to get a 1 here minus x squared over 4. And then dx. All right. Now that's not quite of a direct substitution yet. So what else do I need to do to change? Yes?
Make x squared divided by 4 x over 2 squared.
Good. So I'm going to change that to 1 minus x over 2 squared, like that.
And then to get rid of the 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get rid of that 4. What can we do? Take it out as a 2, and then take it out of the whole integral. So 1/2 out of the whole thing, and then 1 over square root of 1 minus x over 2 squared dx. Yes?
Can you explain how you got rid of the 4?
Square root of 4 is 2, so basically you're separating the square root.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what's next?
U sub.
U sub. U is what?
So
X over 2. And then so du is 1/2 dx. Okay, we could multiply both sides by 2, but hopefully you do try to look at shortcuts from time to time. 1/2, 1/2. There are 2 1/2s, so there's no need to multiply by 2. Okay, never mind. Okay, multiply by 2.
So it's just 1 or nothing.
Yes, but it's okay. Okay, so this is going to be 1/2 times that 2, and then 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared du. All right, this is an easy answer. Inverse sine of u plus c, which is inverse sine of x over 2 plus c. Any questions before I let you do one on your own? All right, let's do a not too hard one. Okay, let's try this one. Which form does this one look like? Tangent, inverse tangent, yeah. Okay, again, make sure you're making it look like the 1 over 1 plus u squared. If you need help getting started, please let me know. Okay, so take out the 4. 1 plus 25x squared over 4 dx. Take out the 1/4 from the whole thing. 1 over 1 plus 5 over 2 x squared dx. So u is 5 over 2x. du is 5 halves dx. Multiply by 2/5. Okay. Yes, you're right. 1/10. Inverse tangent 5 over 2x plus c. Good. All right, let's try another one. This one's a little bit harder, just a little bit. 1 over square root 3 inverse sine square root 3 over 4x plus c.
So we don't have to rationalize.
You don't have to rationalize.
That's good to know.
Yeah. All right, let's try a hard one. This one. All right, this one you might be tempted to use u sub, right? Because, you know, if 4 minus square root 2 is u, du is negative 2x, we could try to get to the answer. So u sub could work. Another way to think about it is splitting it. Okay, so if you split it, how would you solve this part? What method?
Sine inverse or whatever?
No.
U sub. You would use U sub. And then what would you do to solve this part?
Sine inverse.
Yeah, sine inverse. Okay, so you could do it this way. You can't see the difference. Okay, you see how this one has an x and this one has a constant? Okay, yes.
Can you not just do like 1 over red, whatever, and then plus x plus 2 dx?
You could try that. I think you're not going to get to the answer.
I'll try it.
Yeah, you can try it. But, you know, so basically what you want to notice is if you have a denominator has some kind of square, then you can use u sub to get to 1 degree less. You cannot use u sub to get to a constant. So you're going to have to use like an inverse trig function. Okay? All right, so go ahead and try this one. Solve. Let me know when you're done. This part, you're going to use u sub. So u is going to be 4 minus x squared. Du is minus 2x dx. You don't want that negative 2, so negative 1/2 goes in the front there. X dx. So this integral becomes negative 1/2 1 over square root u. 1 over square root u, the integral is not natural log u, okay? Square root u in the denominator is u to the negative 1/2. So this is just a regular integral. So guess the integral would probably be u to the 1/2. So, okay, and then multiply both sides by 2. So then the integral is 2u to the 1/2. So this part becomes negative u to the 1/2. This part, I'm sorry, this is a little crazy, too much work. Anyways, the final answer is going to be minus square root 4 minus x squared plus 2 inverse sine x over 2 plus c.
Yep.
That shouldn't be there. All right. Okay, so this 2 should still be there.